What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode on the Overland Build series. This episode is an extremely exciting episode because I'm getting this front bumper off and we're putting on the Coastal Offroad front bumper. Now, before we get started, I do have a discount code with Coastal Offroad. So if you guys are looking to buy anything from them, definitely put in that discount code, and it's Alpha 7. And I'll put it up on the screen throughout the video. So if you guys are ever looking to buy anything, save yourself a little bit of change and use that discount code. So before we do anything, we're gonna get this front bumper off, and then once we get the front bumper off, we're gonna head down to the shop, and then we're gonna get welding. All right, so now we're taking off our front bumper. There's a series of screws that we're gonna have to take out. So there's one here, and then one exactly on the opposite side. There's one up in this little hole here that screws up into here. There's one like that exactly on the other side as well. And then also we've got some underneath. So we've got this one here, that one there, and then that one, and then there's one more right there. So all those are gonna have to come out. And then you'll probably have to use an extension, but there's another one exactly up in here, like my finger's touching it right now. You'll have to get that one out as well. There you go, that one right there. Okay, so you'll have one screw here, but I cut my fender liner at the bottom, so this isn't connected to anything. The next screw you'll have that you have to take out is right here. So now just reach in here and disconnect these. I'm gonna pull that one out. I'm gonna pull this one out as well. Just like that, just do that with both of them. You're just gonna pull the whole bumper off, just like this. And it works better if you grab it from the side and pull it out this way. Just like that. Okay, so now we've got our whole front bumper completely off. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off these plastic pieces here. We're gonna take out this screw here, and we're gonna take out this screw here as well, because we need to take this plastic piece off. Don't take off the bottom ones, because that's what your headlights are screwed into. Okay, so once you get those two screws out, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this plastic piece off here. Again, leave this screw here, and there's another one down in there. You're just gonna have to pull this off. And this thing is pretty hard to pull off. So I'm just gonna pop it off. I got a pry bar, just pry it off there, just like that. Now that's gone. Okay, so now that we've got those plastic pieces off of there, next thing we're gonna do is take off our crash bar. So in order to do that, you're gonna have to take off these three bolts here. Save them, because you will have to use them to put your Coastal Offroad bumper back on, because I don't think they send you more of these right here. So you are gonna need those. So we're gonna take off these three bolts here, and then it's the exact same thing on the other side through those three bolts. And then we're gonna just pull our crash bar off. I have this light bar connected, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to disconnect that. But that's all you want to do is just take those off, and then your whole crash bar will come off. So one more thing that I forgot to mention is there's three bolts here on this side, but then also on the inside there's another bolt there, and then on this side as well there's another bolt here. So it's 4 bolts total, 3 right there and 1 right there, and you're just going to unscrew all of those. Got my light bar I'm going to take off. Next we're going to pull the actual crash bar off, just like that. All right, so we've got everything taken off the bumper finally. The last things is, if you have the same year as me, just take these and either disconnect the bulbs or something. What I'm probably gonna do is just zip tie it, to be honest, because I'll probably wind up putting different lights on here, I think, at some point. So just secure those out of the way. And also, if you haven't cut your fenders all the way, your fenders will be hanging way down here. This just shows how much fender is sticking left. So I'm probably just gonna cut it from the top over, clean that up. And then the same thing with the other side as well. I'm just gonna clean this side up too, and then cut that. So as well, you can see the washer fluid tank. So I will be doing a washer fluid relocation kit on here, and I will show you guys how to do that. But that will clean up this stuff right here, like all those cords and all that stuff. It'll get all that out of the way, because your bumper is probably gonna come, the bumper's probably gonna come up to about here. So like all this stuff is gonna be showing. So we'll clean all that up. I was talking to a guy and he spray painted his black for the time being. I'll probably do that just so it's not an eyesore, but we'll get all that stuff cleaned up. So now we'll go ahead and start putting everything up, and then we'll head to the shop. All right guys, so we're at the shop, and then we've got our Coastal Off-Road stuff right here. So I'm gonna open this up and show you guys what exactly I got. All right, so we've got all the pieces here, and then we've got our instructions right here as well. These are the light pods that it came with. Honestly, I'm probably gonna wind up selling these because I want amber ones. But these are the light pods that it comes with, and it comes with hardware to put them in. And then it also comes with turn signals. So this is the turn signal it comes with. And then it comes with all the wiring as well. If you select that option. If you don't select the option, then you won't get any of that. So those are all the lights. This is all the wiring. There's a bag with a bunch of little tiny pieces in it. Another bag. So I'm going to take all these pieces out and lay them out and mark them, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like once that's done. Okay, so we've got everything lined up. We've got all our pieces marked. It shouldn't be that hard. From what I heard, it's pretty easy. So I'll show you guys how to do it. This is my front plate. If you guys want this tree cut out, just message them and let them know. You can add modifications to it if you want. And this is a light bar cutout I got as well. These are how my center hoops are going to go. And then we're going to start getting everything welded up on here. And let's get to it. All right, so it is almost time to start welding. The first piece that we're going to be working on is this piece 1B and 1A. So I thought both of these pieces were exactly the same, but when reading the instructions, 1A is bigger than 1B. They're the exact same shape, but this one's bigger. The instructions tell you to just tack 1A and 1B together. They want you to leave a corner to weld in. So right here, as you can see this little corner, that's what they want you to weld in. And that's why the bottom plate is bigger. Now, it's something that they mentioned on the instructions. Do not weld either of these edges. None of the straight edges, only the diagonal edge, and only tack it. Okay? Because what's going to happen is we're going to take plate 2, and we're going to put plate 2 on top of this. And so I'm going to use this as an example. Plate 2 is going to sandwich the plate 1B, and what it is going to create this groove here for you to be able to weld in, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and tack those together. So this is how you want your piece to be, just with a couple tacks on it, nothing on this side, and nothing on this side right here. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece number 2 right here, and we're going to set this on here just like that. Make sure that these holes in here line up, and what it's going to do is it's going to create, like I was saying earlier, this sort of like divot or trough in the middle for you to be able to weld into. And then just like I said, don't weld in this area here, because this is where your winch plate is going to sit. Okay, next we're going to bolt plate number 3 onto the actual truck. So this is going to be plate number 3 right here. You do have this coolant line here, so this cut is going to have to go to that coolant line. Just slide this on here. And so you just want to check to make sure everything is level. That's perfect. So I'm going to get the nuts, bolt them on here, and then we'll move on to the next step. And just make sure that before you start actually welding that you put something protective in between the weld sparks and the truck. You can use masking tape or you can use cardboard, just something to keep the sparks from getting onto the actual truck. Just make sure that before you completely lock it down, you're still level though. So this is number 2 plate here. What it's supposed to do is it's supposed to sit up in here like this, just like that. And you're supposed to put the bolts in that hole right there. For now, I'm just going to tack on here and make sure it's square, and then just keep moving from there. Okay, so once you've got this other piece kind of tacked on there, your next plate is going to be plate 4, and this is the one that your winch is going to sit on. So again, this cutout is for that coolant line. just in there like this. Just like that. Just make sure that you line the corners up. And then just make sure you line it up with the plate in the back as well to give yourself an area to tack. Okay, so now that we've got plate 4 on here, the instructions tell us to weld together everything. So plate 6 is going to be that plate over there, and plate 6 is going to block off this whole area here. So what we're going to need to do is weld up on here. They recommend stitch welds throughout this segment here, and then of course weld up your areas there, because all this is going to be have access blocked. So again, you can weld up this stuff. You could actually do this beforehand, but go ahead and weld up all that stuff in there. Okay, so like it recommended, I got plates 1 through 4 all welded up together. I've got these welds here. This is why you want to leave that spot not welded, so that you can put your welds down in there. I've got my welds in here, all across the top, along the edges, there and there, up top. I also got the top corners as well, right there. And then I'm also gonna get this area, but I'm gonna wait until I get the whole thing off first. But this is holding it on plenty enough. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna work on plate 6. Okay, so now that we've largely got majority of the center put together, it's time to work on plate 6. Now they gave me these number 5 plates to light your to put your lights on. My bumper is different than this one, as you can see. They want you to put your plates here. If I go back to the previous page, they want you to weld your number 5 plates on the inside of plate 6. However, my bumper is different because I got the light bar cut out. So what you see right here is completely different than what I have. So I don't have to put any number 5 plates in here, though they still gave me them. I'm not sure if I'm gonna need them later. But I do have the lights that are gonna be put on the side wings instead. I'm gonna get plate number 6 set up onto the truck and go from there, because the next thing that we're going to be doing is welding up the side wings. So I'm going to go ahead and put plate number 6 up there and see how it looks. All right, so my plate number 6 looks different. As you can see, I got the tree cutouts in it here, and then I also have the light bar cut out. So I don't have any of those number 5 plates that will go on the side. So now I'm going to line it up, see how well it works. All right, so it looks pretty good. So next we'll have to tack it on. So we'll have to tack here and here. Because it was so much heat, the top of these wings want to bend in. Like this one does it pretty good. It wants to bend in like that, as you can see right there. So what I'll do is I'll just pull it out and tack it on there, and that should hold it. We'll go ahead and get started tacking this on. I'm gonna double check the instructions, make sure there's nothing else I gotta do, but I'm pretty sure this is the next step. So we'll go ahead and get started. So now we've got basically the center piece done. Next we're going to be working on the wings. So right here is plate 9. So what they want you to do is they want you to weld plate 9 on right here. They want you to tack it on. And then plate 8 is right here. So basically plate 8 and 9 will go like this. Now before I weld plate 8 on, I've got to weld basically the brackets that will hold the lights. I have to weld those on. So I'm going to go ahead and weld these on real quick, and then we're going to get started on the wings. Okay, so we've got plate 8 right here. And this is going to be like the inside piece of plate 8. And so we've got our plates, our number 7 plates right here. These are angled. And so these are going to be welded on just like that. Now what they want you to do is they want you to mount them at least a little bit over and half an inch below the hole here. I've got maybe close to a half an inch, maybe. So I mean, with this piece, I'll be welding almost directly at the bottom to get to that close to 1/2 inch that they're wanting. So I'm gonna tack these on here, make sure it's lined up right, and then we're gonna get going with this piece. All right, so as you can see, I've got the plates tacked on. I'm gonna kind of just leave them just barely tacked just for now, because in case I have to make any adjustments later. But I've got them tacked on right there. So that's gonna be the outside, and that right there is gonna be the inside. Okay, so the next thing that they want us to do is they want us to, it says bevel the edge of plate 9. I think they're saying to kind of like bevel this corner a little bit, and that way you can kind of have a pocket to tack in. But I guess I'll bevel the top of plate 9. And then another thing they were saying is that the body line of the truck curves up as it goes back, so it's not going to be completely level. So they're saying that when you put it on here and you start tacking on your pieces, you're going to have to kind of bend it up a little bit towards the edges. So I'll go ahead and bevel the top of plate 9 a little bit, and then we'll move on. All right, so I've got the top of plate 9 beveled just a little bit, not too much. So I guess now we're gonna go ahead and tack this on. I guess kind of just test up and fit exactly where you want these, and leave a corner. Don't put them exactly on top of each other. Leave an open corner like that for you to be able to weld in. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and tack plate 9 in, and then I guess we'll go from there and see kind of where we're at. Okay, so I've got plate 9 tacked on right there. As you can see, I actually tacked it on. It wasn't straight, and I had to pull it off and tack it back on again. But you just want to try to keep a consistent body line going throughout the whole thing. I've got this piece of metal from the kit propped up to keep this piece up while I kind of tack other stuff together, just to kind of keep it straight. But this is what we're looking like so far. So next we're going to take plate 8, and we're going to go ahead and tack plate 8 on. Okay, so now it is time to tack on plate 8. What they want you to do is they want you to bevel the bottom of plate 8, because plate 8 will go here, and then plate 12 will go like this. So they want you to bevel it so that they'll be kind of flush together, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to fill those corners with the actual weld. All right, so I've tacked on plate 8. And I've left, as you can see, this corner here to be able to fill up with the weld. And then I've left this corner here to be able to fill up with the weld, but it's flush with this corner here, so we won't have any issues with it sticking out or protruding. Next is plate 10 and 11, which is going to be this plate here. And then 11 is going to be this plate here that goes on the edge, this corner piece here. So next we're going to tack in plate 10. And again, I'm going to leave kind of a gap at the top to weld in. All right, so we've got plate 10 tacked in place. Next, we're going to tack in plate 11. And plate 11 is going to sit on there just like that. All right, so next we're going to weld on plate 12. And then plate 12 is going to sit on here like this. Make sure that you have everything else to the level that you want it. Make sure that it's leveled out and it's got an even gap between the bumper and the actual truck at this point, because now you're kind of adding your stability onto the bottom. All right, next is going to be plate 13, which is going to be this plate here. Okay, so the next piece is supposed to be plate 13. So plate 13 is going to sit here. And then plate 14 is going to sit here. And then 15 is going to be on the backside back here. Now, in order to get plate 13 into the position that it's supposed to be, and to make sure that this corner back here lines up correctly, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to tack on plate 14 first, right here. The only reason I'm doing that is just to ensure that this corner here is where it's supposed to be. And that I have that lined up, because I feel like this part kind of matters. So if there's things in here that I need to fix, I'll fix those, but I just want to make sure that 14 lines up correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and tack that on. Okay, so I'm just gonna use that one little tack just to kind of give me a general reference of where 13 is supposed to be. So now I'm gonna fit plate 13 up in here. Okay, so next is plate 13, and plate 13 is gonna sit on here just like this. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and tack on plate 15, which is the last piece. And plate 15 is gonna sit on here like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack on this piece. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we've got the whole side, the whole right side tacked together. So this whole side is done. And then next, we just have to do the other side. So this is what one wing looks like. And then next we're gonna go ahead and do the other wing. All right, guys, so as you can see, I've got everything tacked together, and this thing looks absolutely amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the center hoop and get the center hoop on here, because that's the last thing that we have to do is put on the center hoop and the supports. So once that's done, then we're gonna go ahead and weld everything completely together. So the center hoop fits almost perfectly in the center from this line to this line here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and weld this, tack this on here. Now I'm just gonna check one last thing and make sure that my hood opens before I completely weld this thing on here. Yep, so we're good. All right, so now we've got the center hoop just about pretty much welded on. I'm gonna have to take it off to get around the back. But now we've got our hoop supports. So our hoop supports are gonna go in here like this. Once I measure these and cut them, then we'll go ahead and get this welded on there. All right, so I've got this piece cut and fitted up just about the way that I want it. So this is what we're looking like right here. It's not perfect, but it fits pretty darn good. So I'm just going to match this up and do the exact same thing to the other side. If you guys are wondering how I did it, one side has a shorter angle, one side has a longer angle. The longer angled side is going to go right here like this. So that's how it's going to sit. If there's one thing that I cannot do, it's angles. I can do anything else except for angles. So hopefully this will fit up pretty good, but that's what we're looking like with that side. So that's how it's going to look. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side now. All right, so I have got both pieces cut, and so if you guys are wondering, from one end to the other, it is 15 inches. I didn't cut them perfect, but I did the best that I could with what I know how to do. So this is what it looks like. So now we're going to go ahead and weld these things on here, and then after that, it's going to be completely finished, and we just have to weld up the insides and the outsides and get that taken care of. All right, guys, so we've got the bumper completely tacked together. This thing looks absolutely sick. The support hoops make this thing look so much more aggressive than just the regular center hoop or even the center hoop, and they have some little pieces that they add with it that you can put along right here to kind of support it. But these hoop supports right here make it look so much better. So it's completely tacked together. So the last thing that we have to do is just take it off and weld up all the outsides and all the insides. So, you know, it's super easy to put together, not very hard at all. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this bumper off, and then once I take this off, we're gonna go ahead and start welding the whole thing together. All right, so the bumper build is finally complete. The only thing I have left to do is just take it to get it powder coated and then put the lights on it, but everything else is finally done. This project, I mean, you can get this done in like, I'd say probably like 3 days, maybe 2-3 days, something like that, but it's all finally completed. So as you can see, this is the variation I got. I have the light bar cut out, and I've got the 4 light pods on the side, and mine is a 2005, so it's got the turn signals that come with it. And then the center hoop. If you guys want these center hoops that come on the sides like this, send them a message and show them a picture of what you want.
And Coastal Offroad does offer the option to customize the cutouts how you want them. They can do light bars with or without the tree cutouts. They can move, add, or delete the other light cutouts, winch access cutouts, etc. To get that from them, just leave a note in the order comments when placing the order, and they'll reach out to you to get the exact details from you. Depending on the customizations, there's usually like a $35 extra charge to account for the extra processing time required.
And then also don't forget that I have a discount code with them, which is Alpha7, that you guys can use as well. So that pretty much takes care of all that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this thing powder coated, and then we're going to finally put it on the truck. All right guys, so the bumper build is finally complete. This truck looks so much more aggressive than what it did before. It's a massive transformation with the metal bumper on versus the plastic one that I had on it before. I personally would highly recommend these bumpers. I did a lot of research before I went ahead and bought a bumper on which bumper to buy. And a lot of the companies I was looking at just had way too long of a lead time, like 7 months. You can order it and they'll ship it within 3 to 10 business days. And it was a good option for me because I know how to weld. If you don't know how to weld, you can take this to a fab shop, or if you've got a friend or something. So those are the reasons I went with the Coastal bumper. I'm definitely probably going to go with their rear bumper as well. So you guys can be looking forward to some of that content once I get that. If you guys are looking to see kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff, like what I do with this truck before I post it on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, and I'll link that in the description for you guys to check out. And I know I've mentioned it multiple times throughout the video, but the type of bumper that I got, I went with the light bar cutout in the center, and also I asked for the tree cutouts as well. They can come with a center hoop if you want. You just have to let them know what you want. If you want the one exactly like what I have, send them a picture. You can send them a picture of my truck, or if you find another one that's like that, and let them know that you want the hoop supports to go on the sides, and they'll hook you up with those. It's a couple extra dollars, but I think it's like maybe an extra $30 or so. They also offer the full hoop supports if you want those. Coastal Offroad as well sells rear bumpers, which I'm going to wind up getting the rear bumper next. Coastal Offroad does offer light pods and turn signals to put in your bumper. I went ahead and ordered those just to see kind of what quality they were. It's not Coastal Offroad's brand. I'm not sure what brand it is. I think it's Cree. But I went ahead and used the light pods The light pods I'm going to end up switching out at some point for some amber ones just because I want the amber color.
And Coastal Offroad does offer amber light pods, so instead of the white ones, you can just let them know in the comments when you place your order that you want amber ones, and they'll switch those out for no extra charge.
The turn signals are KC Cyclone V2s. These turn signals I would highly recommend because they're extremely bright. Even in the daytime, they're super bright. A buddy of mine uses them, and so I saw them, so I went ahead and got them. They're like super cheap. I think they're like 60 bucks for 2 of them. So I'll link those down in the description. You can get those like off of Amazon, and they have the connectors to go with them too, so you don't have to buy connectors. If you guys are looking to pick up a bumper from Coastal Offroad, I do have a discount code with them, which is Alpha7. So you can put that discount code in and save a little bit of change. Overall, it's been a great experience with this front bumper, with welding it together. The instructions were clear. And hopefully with this video, you guys have even clearer instructions and know what to expect when you're looking to build one of these bumpers. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section below and I'll get back with you guys on those. I appreciate you checking out the video.